Here's why I decided to put these cut-in boxes. These are below the swivel arm. The arm swivels over about there, so there's enough room to get these under there. And when I slide the TV over, the TV is going to sit over about here. I just have it swiveled out of the way for now. Okay, and I left about a 2-inch gap in here. You can make that a little less if you want. You just don't want to get so close that when you put the cover plates on, they're going to hit, or you get it too close, maybe you weaken the wall just a hair right there. You know, I wouldn't sweat it too much. You could make this a little bit wider, but you're just going to have to look at your TV wall bracket. You might not have a wall bracket kind of like the one that I put up. You might have, oops, sorry about that. See how this one looks like that? You might have a big, huge bracket that's got some different holes where you can put the cut-in boxes in between the holes or something like that. You just have to kind of read the directions, look at the back side of your TV, and all that kind of stuff before you make your determination. Okay, and I made those nice and level. I got a mark on the first one, decided where to go, and then I ran a level across there. And then I did the sides, and I actually plumbed up one of the sides. So once I got an L, then I measured off of that and transferred my lines. And then I got my gap here and measured out the other one. Ran this across here, marked it, because I didn't want to mark it. I only wanted to mark one at a time, so I didn't get any marks on the wall, you know what I mean? I'm trying to be as careful as I can, because I don't really want to have to do any touch-up paint at the end of this project. The idea is when you get all done, it looks like it was always there before and doesn't look like you did anything. That's the mark of good craftsmanship. I know you've seen one of these before. A little sheetrock saw. I'm going to use that to cut those holes out. Once you got your holes cut, I want you to check. Before you start fishing wires down the wall and all that, just check and make sure that your box fits in there. If it doesn't fit, then you can take out your saw, just kind of shave a little bit more out, or the side, whatever you got to do to make sure it fits. Okay? Those fit nice. And I'm glad I used the level, because I've seen some people, they just kind of stand there and they set this up on the wall and they eyeball it, and then they try to mark the sides and stuff. I don't like to do it that way. This way I get it nice and straight. Now, before I attach this, if the box was slightly crooked, I could shave off the side of the sheetrock a little bit, and I could slide this box around. You know, the bottom over to the far left, the top over to the far right, or vice versa, or whatever, before I clamp it down. You just want to get in the habit of getting your plugs and switches and all that kind of stuff nice and straight. That's kind of one of my pet peeves. I'm getting ready to cut my wire, and I'm just going to measure this from that box up to here, let's say 5 feet, and I want it, I'll just stick out like a foot both ways. So at least a piece 7 foot long. I don't like to skimp on wire. You know, I can always trim off the edges, the ends later. 7 feet at least. So I'll measure my wire, cut that, get ready to go. It's always the easiest to fish when you're fishing a wire down. Put it from the top box on down and just let gravity do its thing. Now I got insulation in this wall. You just have to be kind of careful, and I try to keep it up against this side of the wall, or it's going to get all tangled up in the insulation. So I just kind of kept pushing it down, and pushing it down there. And what do we have here? Voila. There it is. I think you's gonna be an electrician when you grow up. Okay, fish these wires in there, starting from the long ones, obviously. Just gonna slip that on in there. Like that. That's why you got to make sure it fits. Now this was the box. Remember, this was the box that we removed. That's why I didn't want to try to cut too much more at the top or bottom, but because I didn't cut that from scratch, it's barely covering. You can see. You pull those wires through there like that. And these ears need to catch. Now I got a little bit more room at the bottom, so I'm going to try to raise that box up just a little bit. And tighten down those screws. You remember with the cut-in box, this flap, this ear pops up, so you have to make sure you've got enough clearance back here for your sheetrock wall thickness. So once I'm in there and I get ready to tighten that screw, the first thing that happens, doink, that pops up there. Then it stops. Now I can start tightening the screw. As I tighten the screw, it slides right towards the back side of the sheetrock, and then it tightens up. Same thing at the bottom. I put that on there, doink, like that. And then I tighten it up. Okay, so that's what I did. That's what I did with this box here. I tightened that, that went up, and I got that nice and straight, okay? And I tighten this up snug. You just want to do it snug, not too tight, especially here. My tab is just barely covering. You know, I could loosen this up a little bit and maybe try to lift that side up. I don't want to do it too much. That's why you don't want to cut your box too big, and if you get it just a hair too big, you can split the difference on there. Make it snug. This one's fine, that's fine, that's fine. I don't think anything's going to happen. And because this is plastic, you don't want to tighten these up so tight. You go too much and then this starts puckering out, and if you don't watch it, you'll suck the box right into the wall. Okay? What the heck? Here's my coaxial cable, and I fished it down the wall, and it wasn't it's way more flexible than the electrical wire. And so I took my nail puller and I just taped it on there for some weight, and I dropped it down, and there it is. Now I have to get some DVD cables down here too. So what I'll end up doing is I'll pull this coaxial cable all the way through, and I'll tape the other end with the DVD wires, and I'll pull this down there, I guess. I'll have to figure something out. Or maybe I can pull this back up the wall and tape them all together, because I want to get them all down. If you remember, this has an end to it. Right here. Going to come out of this wall, and it's going to screw right on here for the TV. And that's how I'm going to do that. Okay, before you pull this type of cable down the wall, put some electrical tape over the tip. You don't want to mess up anything on the inside of that. here's what's going to hook on the back of the TV. See these 3 prongs, and it comes in a wire form. And I got that plenty long, so it's going to go from the TV and it's going to come down through here too. Then I have to have it long enough out of there to come back up on top of a dresser. Okay, so I hope I got a piece long enough. It's 12 feet long, and I think that's going to be all right.